Hey, what's going on, fam? Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We got some breaking news as Tyler Buchner has just committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Want to get your feedback. I know there was a lot of people. Actually, I was one of the first ones to put it up, and people were like, no, there's no way that he's going to come and this and that. And here we are a couple days later with him committing to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Took a short visit. And look, I think kind of the writing was on the wall. I mean, when you look to the fact that, there's a clear connection with, the new offensive coordinator and Tyler Buchner. And I think we see it today happening, and want to get your take on that. Call-in line is 205-850-1994. Sound off in the comment box. Do you think, I can see already that you guys aren't necessarily that excited about it. And I want to get your take, and let's talk about it today as this is just breaking news. Tyler Buchner, let me get this all situated and get your take. Look, I think when we looked at the situation in terms of where Alabama's quarterback position was following the spring game, I think it was evident that Alabama needed a new quarterback, right, to be added to the room. And somebody's like, is he joining the coaching staff? Look, so now you look at the quarterbacks that you have on the roster, and you have Jalen Milroe, you have Ty Simpson, and you have Tyler Buchner, you have Dylan Lonergan, and you have Eli Holstein. And that's how it's going to be. I mean, the transfer window was going to close on April 30th, and we're going to be, curious to see who popped into the transfer portal. And, Tyler Buchner is the guy. So he is committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. And, how do you think he's going to compete for this spot? You think he's going to make a, run to be the starter? Look, I talked to someone from Notre Dame, and let's continue to evaluate the highlight film and to see, how this kid progresses. But I talked to somebody, close to the Notre Dame program, and they said that he doesn't like to compete, and that he just wasn't ever going to be the guy at Notre Dame. Look, Tommy Rees clearly knows this kid, and they worked together at Notre Dame. And I think that was a big reason that he clearly came to Alabama. And now he'll fight it out for that quarterback position. Look, the thing about it is the Alabama quarterback position after that spring game was not solidified by either quarterback. Is Tyler Buchner going to be the guy? I have no idea, but let's get our first caller, and we'll take that right now. Hit the thumbs up, by the way. I appreciate you guys. It's a 256. We'll get it going. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the line, man. What's your take on Tyler Buchner committing to Alabama?
I see a lot of people that's against it, but it don't hurt us. Adding him to the quarterback room does not hurt us in one bit. It's going to be a competition. And I feel like Alabama, we're fine on the defensive side of the ball. We just need a quarterback that can play winning football and eliminate the turnovers. So whatever three, out of those 3, 4, whoever it is, that's who's going to play. But that's what we need. We don't need an all-American Bryce Young quarterback. I feel like we can still hold up the trophy at the end with a quarterback that just play winning football.
So you kind of think, you're kind of going with like the game manager, so to speak. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yep, that's what I believe.
And I didn't catch your name before when you called in. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Denero Good from Anniston, Alabama.
I appreciate it, man. And your take about, these quarterbacks, like let's start here. what did you think about each of the quarterbacks played during this spring game? And I know a lot of people were like, pump the brakes. It was just a spring game, but were you impressed? What were your expectations when you left, or what did you learn rather from, the spring game?
I learned that both of the quarterbacks, the talent is there. I saw some wild throws, but it's the turnovers, it's the throws that stick out there. He should have never threw that. He should have checked it down. Even Nick Saban said it. He said, I told him to throw to the tight end, and it still wasn't being thrown there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and we'll get to the calls as we move forward. I mean, if you're just joining us, Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Did visit on Tuesday night, and a couple days later does pull the trigger. Yeah, thanks for calling in. I think for me, I mean, as I kind of reiterated again, I mean, there was no clear starter after that spring game, and right now, I think when you look to Tyler Buchner, people are like, well, it doesn't matter. Just a game manager can come in. The ironic thing about everything is you look to the quarterbacks that have been at Alabama in the past, right? So you have just over the past couple of years, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac, Bryce, and I feel there's a really big drop off following those quarterbacks. And, can those quarterbacks progress? Absolutely. But it is what it is. I mean, here we stand right now with a big concern at quarterback. And I think after the spring game, the coaches knew that they had to figure out who to bring in. And looks like Tyler Buchner is going to be the guy. What else you got in terms of your thoughts on Tyler Buchner coming to Alabama?
Our offensive coordinator, he knows the guy, like you said. So he's not going to bring somebody in there that he's not confident in. So it's something there that we're not seeing.
Yep.
I believe.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and I'm going to kind of run through the callers. So I appreciate your feedback, and this is just in. So call again next time, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, buddy. All right. We got some news in as Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. I want to get your take. Call line is open 205-850-1994. Sound off inside the comment box. I want to get your take. We got 3 256 in a row, and we'll take our next caller. It starts right now. Hey, thanks for calling. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where you calling in from?
Kyle, what's up, man? This is Sean from Huntsville.
What's up, man? I appreciate that you finally got in, man. I know you've been trying to call a couple times.
Man, I've been trying to call, but I don't know. I had to call from my work number today to get in. It's like I can't call from my regular phone. It won't never ever let me in.
So
let's
take So we got some work to do.
It'll be very, very quick.
So let's so tell me, Sean, if you don't know, Sean, regular caller, great perspective. What did you learn from the spring game from the quarterback position? And then give me your take on Tyler Buchner now joining Alabama.
What I learned from the spring is neither quarterback is bad. Neither quarterback is bad, man. They're not bad, but at the same time, I challenge everyone to go back and look at Bryce's spring game and look at his stats. Go back and look at Mac's spring game and look at his stats. They're very comparable, but on the flip side, neither quarterback looked confident to me, and that's the part that scares me. I can handle a bad spring game. I can handle a shaky spring game, but neither quarterback looked confident at all. But I will say the left tackle, Pritchett, he got beat several times with the first offense. But I got to say this, man, and I try to keep it real as I can. It worries me bringing this young man in. I watched Tyler Buchner. This guy was terrible against Marshall. He was terrible against Ohio State. He averaged under 5 yards net adjusted per attempt. The guy threw 2 pick sixes against South Carolina. It's. I just don't understand this move. I get it. I understand. But it just seems like a thirsty move to me, man. It really seems like a panic button type move. And it scared me. Like, if we really reaching like this for a quarterback, man, this guy's not a world beater. He's not a war daddy by any stretch of the imagination. I understand the connection between him and Tommy. I get it. And maybe that will overcome my fears. But, brother, we're looking on sheer talent. I don't see it. I did my research on this guy. I'm a film watcher. I just do not see it, man. And it's sort of making Alabama be a laughingstock online right now. I trust Coach Saban, as we all do. But at the same time, I don't get where this is going, Kyle. I just don't, man. I'm hoping it's clearer skies than what I can see right now. What do you think?
We have Sean on the line right now, 205-850-1994. Breaking news if you're just joining us. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide, came in for a visit on Tuesday night, and commits to Alabama a couple days later. And I think it was clear after the spring game that no quarterback had solidified that position. And I know Ty Simpson, they're talking about his thumb, and Jalen Milroe, they gave him plenty of opportunities. And look, we don't know who the quarterback is going to be yet, but we knew that it was likely that Alabama was going to take a transfer. I've been talking about this for a while, for a long time. I felt the fact that Alabama didn't have a quarterback that's a veteran, and not to say that Tyler Buchner has veteran experience. I just felt that Alabama, if the right quarterback was to come in, that Alabama would take a look. And I think Nick Saban even said that as well. Now, Tyler Buchner, is that the guy? I have no idea. But just like you said, clearly there's a connection, and clearly Tommy Rees knows the kid. I mean, and like you said, if you look at his stats and if you look at his play, you're not going to be happy about, kind of the overall talent. But there's not a game Saturday. There can be a lot done before the season. We don't know who the quarterback is going to be. What else? Sean, when you look at kind of the quarterback room, and maybe outside of that, give me your take about kind of the offense and kind of how you're feeling, probably besides running back, because I think we're all comfortable there, but you kind of look to the parts that these quarterbacks will be working with. How you feeling there from a spring perspective?
I feel pretty confident, Kyle. It's just I was a little disappointed in our receivers. I seen a lot of drop balls, a lot of non-separation, sort of the same thing. I really paid close attention to Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton has some very crucial habits to where he releases off the line of scrimmage. He's not very aggressive. It's almost like he tried to go hard in the middle of the route. Even on his breakdowns, even when he comes out of his break, it's so different than what I'm used to seeing from Bama receivers. It's so different, man. And maybe I've been spoiled. Maybe I've been spoiled like we all have with the receivers we've had in the past. We've got some great guys over there, man, but it's almost like these guys are not confident in themselves. We really got some work to do, I believe. I think the defense is probably going to be the best we've had in a couple of years. But I really believe we got some work to do when we come back in the summer. These guys got some work to do on the offensive side of the ball. I think they need to work Caden Proctor. I think they need to work him with the first team because Pritchett seems like his lower body strength is not very good. He was getting pushed around by young guys. I mean, you would have thought, what's his name, Quindarius Robinson? You would have thought that guy was a fifth-year senior the way he was tossing that guy around. So I really think Elijah just needs some more weight training in his lower body. I know he's young as well, but Caden was destroying his people. I mean, that guy, I understand he was going against the second defense, but if you're going to go against the second defense, that's how you should look. That's how you should look. He dominated. And I think we're going to be fine on the defensive side of the ball, but I really believe, like I said, we need some work on the offensive, man. But listen, Kyle, I'm going to get up out of here, man. I wanted to call you on my work phone and touch base with you, man. I hadn't got a chance to talk to you and the people in a while. Love the show. I'll be tapped in as always. I'm going to try to call from my phone again. That's that 226 number.
Okay.
And but again, to clarify, I trust Coach Saban. I got my faith in him. But this move, I don't know what this move says, man. I understand our quarterbacks are not where we all want them to be, including Coach Saban. But this young man in particular, outside of the connection with Tommy, I just don't get it, brother. I really don't. I watch his play, and I'm still hungry at the table, if you know what I mean. It's not enough food, man. So you guys take care, brother. I'll be tapped into you, and I'll continue to support on the site and on the channel.
All right, man.
Tide forever, brother.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you, man. All right. That was our good buddy Sean from Huntsville calling in. Appreciate it. We got two additional 256s. We got one line open, 205-850-1994. If you're just joining us, Tyler Buchner has committed to Alabama Crimson Tide. Want to get your comments inside the comment box now. When you look at the quarterback room, you have Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Tyler Buchner, Dylan Lonergan, and Eli Holstein. Those are your quarterbacks going into the 2023 season. I told you, I've been saying this for a long time, that Alabama was going to take a transfer quarterback. Even when I posted the news, you guys were like, no, they're not. We're confident in the quarterbacks. And you might be confident in the quarterbacks that you have in the room. But clearly the coaching staff has set a big message that, look, the quarterback position is open for the taking. And I mean, look, is there anything wrong with the quarterback depth chart? I don't know. But, now we have another quarterback to talk about. It's Tyler Buchner, the guy. And I know a lot of people aren't excited about it. Give me a thumbs up inside the comment box, or give me your take if you think that this is the right fit to this quarterback room. We'll take our next call right now at 256, and we'll start right now. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who are on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is William. I'm from Birmingham.
William, good morning, man. I appreciate you calling in. What are your thoughts on Tyler Buchner joining up with the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Well, I listened to the last couple of people, and they all got some, we're all feeling the same way. As soon as I heard that he might be coming, I went watching his highlights and seeing, how. And I'm just like the other guys. I trust in Nick Saban's decision. Obviously, if they was satisfied with what they had, they wouldn't be trying to get another one. Another thing, he can be a quarterback that can be with us for a while if if they get him on the same page. But that goes to say, we still don't know who the quarterback's going to be.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel what was your take after? Because I like to get people's assessment after the spring game, and I know it's a small sample size, but did you feel that either quarterback stood out? There was pros for sure. When Jalen Milroe hooked up with Kendrick Law a couple times, that was good. When Ty Simpson, busted out the 45-yard run and a couple of throws he had, it was good, but it wasn't to what we're accustomed to seeing.
Exactly. And I do feel that way. But you know what always sits in the back of my mind, like in a spring game? Some of those throws, do you really think that he would have made some of those in a real game? Maybe he would be a little bit more careful. Neither one of them really showed anything to me. When I heard that Tyler Buchner was coming to transfer portal, be honest with you, I was kind of happy.
When you look to look, you have Tommy Rees, who's only 30 years old. You have Kevin Steele on the defensive side. And just as Sean said, and I agree with Sean 100%, and I'm continuing to roll out my grades and assessments for each individual group on the YouTube channel. By the way, the secondary is going to be A+. It's outstanding. Kool-Aid, Terran Arnold, Malachi Moore, Caleb Downs. You can go on and on. Even two deep is very, is filled with these incredible talents that I think are going to do a great job this year. But quarterback aside, clearly the quarterback position, there needed to be someone to be added there. Do you think that, when you looked at this group overall, don't you feel that it's a big drop off? Here we are. It's ironic tonight. The first quarterback is going to be taken is Bryce Young tonight in the NFL draft. And here we are, hours before here complaining about the quarterback who's going to take over. Are Alabama fans just spoiled, or is this a reality that these quarterbacks just aren't what we're accustomed to?
Hey, we're spoiled, man. We've had just like y'all were talking earlier. We've had Tua, Jalen, Mac Jones. We haven't had this problem.
And I think when you look to the quarterbacks that are on the current roster, none of these guys are, look, things can change. And there was a time, and I always remember this because I learned this. There was a time where nobody wanted Mac Jones to start. I promise you. People were like, don't start him. Reels off 13-0 season. Are any of these guys capable to do that? I have no idea. But from what we've seen, Tyler Buchner doesn't look like he's the guy. In fact, I would probably, where would you put him? If you watch his film, here's your homework, everyone. And we'll get to our next callers. But here's your homework, okay? Watch the film of Tyler Buchner and then come back on this video and list the depth chart. Who would you start? Who's backup and who's third? Honestly, I want to see who you have at that third spot. I'm curious to get your take. And is there anyone out there listening that think that Tyler Buchner is going to be the starter come the 2023 season? All right, get in one more question or comment before we move on to the next caller.
All right. So, and I'm just, I'm going to sit back and just watch and trust in Nick Saban and then trust in Tommy Rees and, just sit back and watch, and hopefully at the end of next season, we'll be saying, well, I guess Tyler Buchner was a good addition.
Well, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. You have a good rest of your morning as you move into lunchtime on this beautiful Thursday, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Kyle. Thank you, and a big fan, buddy.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right, we got a 256-678. We'll get to you next. We also got another call in line open, 205-850-1994. Call in and get your comments on the air about Tyler Buchner joining the Alabama Crimson Tide. Big news that is really the biggest news in college football today, right? We've been tracking it since Tuesday night. I put this up and people were like, no, that's not going to happen and this and that. And here we are a couple of days later with Tyler Buchner now committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. When you look to the Alabama quarterback depth chart, how do you think it's going to play out? I mean, and Juwan is saying in there that Ty Simpson is third string. I don't know. I mean, look, I 100% feel that if there was a game this Saturday, okay, just this Saturday, that it would be Jalen Milroe starting. Now, would he continue to be the quarterback? I don't know. But I think he's like slightly ahead of Ty. I think it's very, very close. There's a lot of things that Ty does great. But right now I just feel that Milroe just edge him out just by the fact that has that dual threat ability. And so does Ty. I mean, shoot, but I don't know. It's very close, but clearly the quarterback competition still for opening. So what we're asking right here is exactly what Mike Pierce did inside the comment box. List your quarterbacks now that you know the Alabama depth chart going into the 2023 season. Let's see it just like this. 1, 2, 3. Who's your starter? Who's your backup? Who's your third string quarterback? Post inside the comment box. Chris, our producer, will get those up. And Chris, you could rotate out those photos of Tyler Buchner. I'd appreciate it, man. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. On this beautiful Thursday morning. Tonight is the NFL draft. You got Bryce Young, you got William Anderson. How many guys do you think will be taken in the NFL draft from Alabama, right? I think clearly, the writing's on the wall that Bryce would be a Carolina Panthers. Have you guys tried out the new Bryce cream bar? By the way, I went to Circle K and tried to look for it. I was going to bring one on, but couldn't find one, by the way. But Snickers bar is obviously the GOAT. Twix is number 2. We'll get to our next caller, and we'll start that right now. It's a 256. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Deion Garth from Huntsville, Alabama.
I appreciate you calling in, man. What's your take on Tyler committing to the Alabama Crimson Tide this morning?
I don't know, man. I think he's going to be a third string, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be honest about the whole thing, but my point is like what people failing to realize about the 8A game is like we're going to have like a top 5 defense, right?
Yeah.
So that's my take on that. And people like it's overrated. I mean, like the offense, everybody been talking about the offense, right? Like the defense has not really been talked about. And I think we're gonna have like the best defense we've had in like the last 5 years. So to me, I think the quarterbacks did okay besides the drop passes by the receivers. I think they did okay considering the good defense that we're gonna have coming in. That's my whole take on it.
See, and I think this is a very interesting point to highlight because I've said this as well. The stats are on the screen of Tyler Buchner. As you can see, he was 10 of 21, 10 completions, 18 against Ohio State in 2022. Against Marshall, he was in a loss. He was 18 of 32, and against South Carolina, he was 18 of 33. Those are the stats from Tyler Buchner for the 2022 season. But look, Jalen Milroe, okay, is going up against Kool-Aid. First-round NFL draft pick, going up against Terrion Arnold, probably a first-round draft pick, going up against Malachi Moore, who's certainly going to be playing on Sundays. Caleb Downs, probably a first-round draft pick. You get my drift? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the defense.
Why we not talking about the defense, dude? Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
this defense is going to be ferocious, dude. I mean, this defense is going to be hell.
And think about this: there was 9 sacks on the defensive side. And think about this. Deontay Lawson didn't play. Chris Broswell didn't play. And neither did Dallas Turner.
Exactly.
And this and I want to tell you guys this. This is a player that you haven't been talking about and we've been overlooking this young man, is Justin Ebogbe. If he is healthy, I'm telling you, he has enough experience. He's athletic enough. Him, Tim Smith, and Jaheim Otis. I mean, and how about Jamirion Latham? I mean, those guys behind, you're right. Like, in every year, they're like, this is the defense. No, I talked to Malachi Moore and I asked him, what is the physicality like under Kevin Steele? He didn't have to say a lot. He was like, just wait. So,
right. With the 2 quarterbacks that we already got, besides the transfer portal from Notre Dame, the guy besides that dude, the 2 quarterbacks that we already have, guy, I would be confident in either one of them with the defense that we got. I promise you, we're gonna be just fine. People need to realize that defense is gonna be hell, man. People are not even talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Because think about this right here though. Every year, it's always one that's better, and then it's always a letdown on one side of the ball, right? Okay. Last year, offense was better, right? Defense was let down, right? Maybe the last 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now this year, the defense is going to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't got on the same page around the 14-15 team where we got a good top 5 defense and a good top 5 offense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But this season, our defense is going to be way better than the offense. But just think about all these Justin Haynes. Just think about these young guys, man, that's coming in. And we got a ton of running backs, dude. I mean, just think about that, man. I mean, and then our quarterback, all we need is a game manager this season. That's it. And it's only April, man. And why are we panicking? It's only April. Them dudes gonna get plenty of reps, gonna get plenty of practice time. They're gonna be just fine, man. They're gonna be just fine.
All right, man. Get something else in before we move to our next caller. Anything else on your mind?
Yeah, man. That's basically it, man. Because we're gonna be just fine, man. Come September, man. Man, we got a hellacious, ferocious schedule. Man, I was looking at Georgia's schedule, man. Straight cakewalk, man. That's why I can't wait today. That's why I'm glad this is the last year of the 14 playoffs. Have you seen Georgia's schedule, dude? Have you seen that?
Our producer Chris will get it up before you go. Chris, get up the schedule of Georgia real quick.
I want that, man. Man, it's a cakewalk, dude. It's like they playing like high school. I mean, like the whole season. It's a straight cakewalk. Straight cakewalk.
Hold on,
and then you compare their schedule to Bama's schedule. I mean, it's just unfair. It's really unfair to me. And one other thing I got to ask, man. What about the Okay, so after this season, there's not going to be no more East and West, right?
Yeah, from my knowledge, I mean, things are about to get really switched up. But here we go, real quick. Let's look at this. This is Georgia's schedule. Okay, why we have to look it up. Okay, so UT Martin. This is the crazy thing. You know who the head football coach of UT Martin is? It's Ty Simpson's father. That's pretty interesting.
Right.
Then you have Ball State. Okay, South Carolina. I mean, that game's going to draw a little bit of buzz just because of the coaching matchup. UAB, our friends from Birmingham. Then you have Auburn. Okay, Hugh Freeze, Kirby Smart. That's a SEO headline tag. Then you have Kentucky. Then you have Vanderbilt, right? Then they go party in Nashville. Then they're open. You take on Billy Napier in Florida. You got Missouri, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin at Tennessee. That'll be a tough one at Georgia Tech. Wow. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that is a very that schedule pairs up very well for them. Yeah.
And then the schedule is already weak for them. But just look at all the non-conference games for Georgia, dude. What are they rated at? Like in the top 100?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The non-conference games that Georgia has, like them teams are rated in the top 100, right? Like maybe like 60, 70, 80 or something. Man, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy to me. But anyway, get back to my team, man. We're gonna be just fine, man. We're gonna be just good. Everybody's panicking on this offense, man. Man, we're gonna be just fine, man. Saban's gonna put the ball in the right hands of the right people at the right time. And that dude Benson, that dude right there is off the chain.
I told you, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to move to my next caller, man.
Right,
call again next time, man.
Yeah. I'll be calling in, man. I'll be calling in. I appreciate your call, man.
Yeah, please do. All right. Yeah, just as he said, kind of as he bounced out, Malik Benson, I think Malik Benson's going to be the guy. But who's going to be the quarterback to get him the ball, right? Yeah, I appreciate it. And just like Sean said, man, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. If you guys don't know, now you know I own the YouTube channel by myself. This is how I pay the bills. So super chats, become a member of the channel, hit the join button, just hit the thumbs up. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Appreciate Sean for calling in earlier and all the callers out there giving their take this morning on the news. That is the headline of College Football as Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. We have 452 people watching. Let's get 452 thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. We'll continue to move through the calls as we navigate this news. Someone just said inside the comment box, and look, we have a couple more days before the transfer portal closes. I don't want to freak you out. Do you think any quarterback is going to hit the transfer portal from Bama now? Do you? Do you think that someone enters and transfers? I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that this is your quarterback room going into the season. So I'm going to say no. There's a couple more days left. A lot of people saying don't freak out. I'm not going to freak out, but I don't know. A lot of people not necessarily happy about Tyler Buchner coming to Alabama, making the commitment today. But as you can see on the photo right there, Tommy Rees knows what Tyler Buchner can do. And now he's a part of this Alabama Crimson Tide roster going into the 2023 season. We'll take our next caller to 678, and we'll start right now. How's it going? Good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where are you calling in from?
How you doing, Kyle? Name's Micah. I'm from Atlanta. How you doing?
What's up, Mike? I appreciate you calling in, man. Big fan of the ATL, man. Give me your take on Tyler Buchner committed to Alabama this morning.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but, as everybody else has said, Coach Saban sees what they do on a regular basis inside of practice and on the field, on the, 3 or 4 fields plus the inside fields that they have. They look at those kids every day. I'm concerned about the long term of what this does to either recruits or people that are looking to come to Alabama as quarterbacks. You got Sayin on the hook, and potentially in 2026, over here where I'm at, we got a kid in Carrollton, Juju. Mm-hmm. That kid is awesome. But, if people are sitting here thinking in the back of their mind, well, if he's not happy with me, they're not going to teach me. They're just going to have somebody transfer in and put me on the back burner. Mm-hmm. Why would you go? But other than that, I think that looking at the spring game, I think that the QBs are more than serviceable. Yes, they made some bad throws, but somebody mentioned this earlier, and I also posted on Twitter about this not too long ago. Pritchett got beat so many times. Mm-hmm. That as a quarterback, that has to speed up your clock. That just has to put you in the mindset of, I've only got a couple seconds. I got to find something. The only thing that I didn't like, that I didn't see from Milroe, and I need to go back and watch the footage again, but it looked like Ty Simpson was working through his reads a little bit easier than Milroe was. But as far as, athleticism and serviceable and just being able to get the ball out, get the ball down the field, somebody else made a comment and said, would he be able to make those throws in a regular game? Come on, you're talking about throws in a window. Christian Story is a ball hawk, and he made like 2 or 3 throws to Kendrick Law in between a small window. Like, that's a hard throw. I don't care who you put in there. But this is another thing that I wanted to bring up and also put it in the chat. To me, with these 2 quarterbacks being as raw as they are, and one of them is in their second or third year in the system, technically third because he's a redshirt sophomore, that right there speaks to exactly how good Bryce Young really was. And not only that, it also speaks to the fact that you had an offensive coordinator that did not know how to develop quarterbacks, and you had to get rid of them. That's just simple as that. If they're that raw and they've been in the system for that long, then Bill O'Brien just wasn't doing his job.
I think that's a great point. So I was thinking of this exact same thing, Mike. I was looking at basically the offensive coordinator over the last couple of years has also worked with the quarterbacks. And, of course, there's people behind the scenes. One of the biggest losses was probably Alex Mortensen, who's now, I think, at UAB. He was kind of like that quarterback whisperer for the last several seasons. But I think one of the quarterbacks who did or one of the quarterback coaches who did the best job with the quarterbacks was actually Steve Sarkisian, who is probably one of the best offensive coordinators, at least under my opinion, underneath Coach Saban. And I think Bill O'Brien not only wasn't effective in calling, dynamic plays for the offense for Alabama the last couple of years, but I don't think he did a good job developing the quarterbacks either. Then again, I don't think they had the wide receivers last year that they're going to have this year, but I think that's a very valid point that you bring up. I think today, in this world of the transfer portal, things coming in, things coming out, this is kind of the world that we have to live in, and guys are going to pop in and pop out. I'm not shocked to see Alabama take a transfer quarterback. I'm really not. I am surprised to see it being Tyler Buchner, but when you look to the transfer portal window and you see the guys that were in, this is one of the only quarterbacks that was truly in that I guess made sense just because of Tommy Rees. Might get something else in before we move to our next caller.
Yeah, I mean, I like you said, I didn't see it being this kid. Me personally, I thought they would have went and tried to get the kid out of Wake Forest. I thought he was a real good prospect, but for me, I personally live with Milroe. I live with him or Ty Simpson. I'm a Milroe fan, but I live with him or Ty Simpson. I think both of them are serviceable. And Dylan Larnigan, I mean, for that kid to be a freshman, he looked really comfortable in the pocket. But like I said, they see these kids on a regular basis. They know what they're comfortable with. And for Coach Saban, like I said, I'm from Georgia. I mean, the buzz is real over here in Georgia. They're feeling themselves over here in Georgia.
Oh yeah, of course.
Coach Saban, he's trying to knock Kirby back down.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I got it, man. Well, thanks for calling in, Michael. I appreciate it, man. Call again next time. Always got love for the ATL, man.
Hey, Cal, real quick, just want to let you know this is my first time calling, man. I appreciate everything you do, and thanks for opening this up for us fans, man.
No doubt, man. Stay blessed, man. I appreciate you calling anytime, man. I appreciate it.
Cool beans.
All right, that was Mike from the ATL. If you're just joining us, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. A lot of people freaking out. Some people saying, relax. I want to get your take. Earlier, I asked if you guys could put your quarterback projections inside the comment box. 1, 2, 3. Starter, number 1. Number 2, who's the backup, and who is the third team quarterback going into this season. We had some good feedback on that. Like Sean says, everybody hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe inside the comment box. 438 watching. We got some calls, and we'll continue to navigate through those this morning. We got a 337, and we'll take that right now. Hey, good morning. Thank you for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is David from Louisiana.
Hey, what's up, David? Good morning. I appreciate you calling in from Louisiana. Give me your take on Tyler Buchner joining up with the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, I don't know much about Tyler. I do know one thing, that the level of competition, the level of athleticism at Notre Dame does not even come close to what we have in the Southeastern Conference or at Alabama. I'm not saying he's going to be the greatest quarterback ever. People did sleep on Mac Jones whenever he threw, was it 3 or 4 interceptions against Auburn whenever he took his first start, several years ago. And people were smashing him. I'm not going to say this guy's going to take the starting role, but maybe with this transfer coming in, might put a little bit more drive in Milroe, Simpson, and whoever else is going to be in the lineup as well. I don't believe there's going to be one of the quarterbacks transferring, but the competition with a transfer coming in might put a fire or spark in Milroe and Simpson as well. I think it was a good call for Coach Saban and them to bring him in. I mean, who's to say with the receivers that we have, the offensive line that we have, that he wouldn't be a good quarterback or just a little above average quarterback? Nobody knows until he has his time to shine during practice. I did watch the A game. People were smashing Milroe and Simpson and everything, saying, oh my God, the quarterbacks are terrible, blah, blah, blah. Well, like I've heard several people say, maybe it's just the defense is better than what it's been last year, I mean, that's just my personal opinion about it. I mean, I don't know what your take is on it, but my take is I think it was a good call. I think he's going to put a little bit of competition in there. Like I said, I don't think he'll get the starting position, but I think he'll put a little bit of competition in there and push people to push these other quarterbacks to perform a little better.
On the line with David from Louisiana, just in, Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. I want to get your take inside the comment box about Tyler Buchner coming to Alabama and jumping in this depth chart battle and this quarterback battle on this Thursday, April 27th. Tonight is the NFL draft. Bryce Young is slated to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. William Anderson also going to be a top 5 pick. Pretty amazing that today we're talking about the quarterback who is going to be the next quarterback to replace Bryce Young, and then tonight Bryce Young will will be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Just, kind of ironic how that works out. Tyler Buchner, I think personally, from just seeing his film and where things stand, he's probably the 3rd best quarterback on this team going in. I know that if there was a game Saturday, I'm kind of feeling that Jalen Milroe is that guy, but I think overall Ty Simpson probably is going to edge him out. I just think that I think Mike brought it up, and I agree with Mike a couple callers ago from Atlanta. He said that he watched Ty going through his progression. So the progression he'll read is, you go from one wide receiver to the next, and you kind of break it down rather than just focusing on one wide receiver or just taking off inside the pocket. I get it. Pritchett was getting beat out there. There was 9 sacks. But the thing is, the defense, just like you said, David, the defense is going to be ferocious this year. We talked about that earlier on the show. It's scary to think that Broswell and Turner and Lawson didn't even have to play in that game. And you look to the fact that secondary is absolutely loaded. David, get one more thought in before we move to our next caller.
I believe we'll end up winning the SEC West, possibly for the last time of the year. If the defense plays like they did in the spring game, picks up, moves forward, offense does a little better. We still got, 4 months or so before we actually take our very first snap in a real game.
Mm-hmm.
That's plenty of time for these quarterbacks to get comfortable and to move forward. People just jumping to conclusions way too early. It's early, way early. It's just give these quarterbacks some time, give these coaches some time. Things will fall into place. I believe we're going to give. We'll most likely win the SEC West, and I believe we'll end up playing in a national championship. And hopefully Georgia ain't there. I'm tired of hearing, oh my God, they done took over the dynasty. They're the greatest thing. Oh my, whatever. Until they win the national championship that Alabama has, they ain't gonna be nothing but a flea on a dog, in my opinion.
All right, man.
Anyways, other than that, roll tide. God bless everybody. God bless the United States of America. Have a blessed one.
All right, thanks, David. Roll tide to you, buddy. All right. David, our good buddy calling in from Louisiana. It's good to catch up with David. I appreciate it. We got an 832 and a 404 coming in. We'll take those in just a second. We're getting some feedback from our Georgia Bulldog friends inside the comment box. UGA took over. Coach Saban said just recently at a golf tournament that someone has done a good job taking what's rightfully Alabama's away. He's clearly talking about Kirby Smart and what Georgia has done over the last couple seasons. And Shane D inside, going at the Georgia fans. Look, what Georgia has done over the last 2 seasons, we've seen it done, right? I mean, they've clearly become what we thought they were going to become. I thought it took them a little bit longer to get to that point. But now that they've changed their offense, I think they're here to stay if they can continue to refill at the wide receiver position, because we always know they're going to have the running backs. Their defense is always going to be good. I just felt that their offense was at 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but now that they've gone a little bit more up tempo, a little bit more, dynamic in that sense. I mean, Georgia clearly here to stay, and we'll see what Alabama can do. And today we're talking about the quarterback position. We'll take our next caller. It's at 832, and we'll start right now. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Hello.
How you doing? Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
I'm James from Austin, Texas.
James, thank you very much for calling in from Austin. What's on your mind today? Let's get your take on Tyler Buchner committed to Alabama.
Well, I was surprised to see it because I didn't think the quarterbacks were doing that bad. I watched that spring game, and I know the numbers weren't outrageous, but there were drop passes and there were excellent defensive plays, and it's not a real game situation. So you kind of have to take the numbers with a grain of salt. So I was surprised to see it. But there might be something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Like there might be talk of somebody transferring out, kind of like what y'all mentioned. And I could see that happening. I can see that maybe one of the quarterbacks goes and plays. Ty Simpson might go play for his dad there at one of his colleges. Who knows what's going to play out? But there might be something behind the scenes. I was kind of surprised to see it. But like I said, I just didn't think the quarterbacks were doing that bad. And I agree with what's being said about the defense. I think the defense is going to be back to Bama defenses of the past where they were just very, very dominant. Because if you look at the defense during the Pete Golding era, Bama had the talent. It just seems like a lot of the defensive players were out of place for some reason. They weren't where they just needed to be, and that's why Bama got burned long by LSU and got the last plays there. They were just everybody's out of position, and that just comes down to coaching. But I do think the defense is going to be dominant again. But like I say, I just didn't think the quarterbacks were doing that bad. I didn't think they were doing that bad. Milroe, he was thrown into action last year, and yeah, he struggled, but still he won the games and made the plays with his feet and his arms when he had to. So I think the sky's going to be higher for him. Ty Simpson, I really don't know. I don't know. We haven't. But I can tell you by watching that A-Day game. He's got an arm, and he drilled it. That one play in particular would have been a touchdown if not for an excellent defensive play by one of the defensive players. But like I said, I think there's just something going on behind the scenes that the average fan like myself don't know about, as far as maybe some chatter of somebody wanting to transfer out or something like that. Because I don't think this guy they brought in. I wish Tyler. I wish him all the luck in the world. He's part of the Bama Nation now, so I wish him all the luck in the world. Hope he takes us to the tour where we need to go. But I don't think he's got any more. I mean, I just don't see what he's got that we don't already have. That's. But anyway, maybe there was more to that Tyler Van Dyke chatter than I thought there was. But like I say, I just don't think the quarterbacks were playing that bad.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. We're on the line with James from Austin. In the background, you're looking at the On3 transfer portal. You can go to On3 and check out their transfer portal interface. I think it's really good. Chris, if you could scroll up, is there a list of the uncommitted transfer quarterbacks? I think if you go to the top, you can see Sam Hartman. Clearly, he went from Wake Forest to Notre Dame, which took over that spot. And I thought maybe there was a chance that, a long time ago, I thought maybe Sam Hartman would come to Alabama. And then, I was like, since Tommy Rees, maybe it'll work out, but clearly he's going to be here. So these are the quarterbacks. And by the way, thanks, Dungeon, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. He's putting a $5 wager, it looks like, on the fact that Ty Simpson goes in the transfer portal. But if you can go full screen on this. On On3, it shows you which quarterbacks are currently inside the portal and the quarterbacks that are uncommitted. So, for example, up at the top, Ben Bryant, last team, Cincinnati's undecided. So if you kind of scroll down this list, these are the options. These are the guys on the board up until Tyler Buchner came available. So when you look at these quarterbacks that are available, and there's plenty of them to choose from, which quarterback is it going to be? And just like James is saying, hang on, James, with us, could there be something happening in the background to one of these quarterbacks that we're not seeing that wants to exit out? And I think someone brought it up inside the comment box. I just saw it. Now I do remember Ty Simpson did say something on social media that kind of, we were speculating that he wasn't happy. Now, clearly he got plenty of playing time, during the spring game, but who knows? I mean, there could be something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. But when you look to the quarterbacks available on the board, there's not a lot of guys that jump off the board. James, get something else in before we get to our next caller.
Well, I'll just say real quick, I'm a Bama fan, born and raised, but I live outside the state. And I can tell you this, people that are not part of the Bama fans and the Bama Nation, they are hoping and praying for our demise. I can tell you that. Any little thing, like all these people predicting a 7-5 season for us this year, they're out of their minds. That's more wishful thinking than anything else. And after the season last year, which was a good season. I know we came up short, but it's still a good season. They declared the Saban dynasty over then, but everybody outside the Bama Nation is just hoping that the whole thing, the wheels just come off of it. And I don't see that happen. I see Saban still doing what he needs to do. But all right. Thank you, sir. You have a good day.
All right. Take it easy, James. James calling in from Austin. We appreciate it. Didn't even get a chance to ask James about Steve Sarkisian and their quarterback situation, which is going on over there. Got some callers in the call queue. We got a 404-256 and 813. We'll take those callers, and we'll take the 404. We'll jump right into it right now. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, how's it going? This is JB calling from Japan.
JB calling from, did you say Japan?
Yeah, Japan. It's like 1 a.m. here.
You know what? Let me tell
that
you.
Notification woke me up.
Let me tell you, James, or JB from Japan. So when I used to live in Washington, D.C., and I had 3 roommates. One was from Iowa. One was from Otokovis, Puerto Rico. And my actual suite mate was from Nagasaki, Japan. His name's Nobutaka Ito. And this young man was the hardest worker I'd ever met. He was this was many years ago. This is like 12, 15 years ago. This dude, before like people were working remote, he was working remote before remote was even a thing, right? So he would work all day long. He'd come home, he'd open up a Budweiser, and he would just kind of meditate. And with a Budweiser, just one, and that was his thing. Anyways, I appreciate you calling in. Got love for Japan. Yeah. So give me your thoughts on Ty Buchner. You're calling in all the way from another continent. So let us have it.
It's all good. So most of the guys that's calling in, they're all saying the same. We're all agreeing on the same line. I think everybody is overreacting right now with us bringing in this kid. Like, just relax. Redshirt freshman, it will be okay. Iron sharpens iron. All they're saying is Reese knows this kid. He says, hey, just bring him in also into the QB room, and he can develop just like the other guys are developing. I think this is Milroe's show. Ty Simpson, even when he was coming in, he's a son of a coach. He understands the process. He realizes, okay, it's going to take time to develop. I don't see him transferring out. And I don't see Milroe losing this job. I think everybody just needs to relax. I get it. Everybody wants to clickbait. Everybody wants to see Alabama's demise. But just trust the process and continue. We got a more pocket passer right now that you bring in. It'll hopefully help polish Milroe as well, especially with the younger guys that we got in there. Everybody just calm down and just watch it develop, just like the previous caller said.
Yeah, we're on the line with JB calling all the way from Japan, telling everybody to relax. It seems like someone from you've picked up obviously the culture of just kind of easing into it and not freaking out. And someone inside the comment box just brought up a great point. Julian Sane is also committed to this squad from the class of 2024, but Tyler Buchner has committed to Alabama. Crimson Tide adds depth to this depth chart, which already has 2 freshmen, and now you have Buchner coming in. You have Ty Simpson, and you have Jalen Milroe. A lot of people saying that it's Jalen Milroe's show, that it's going to be his team. I think I look back to that game against Texas A&M. It's really the only game. Think about this. I mean, the limited experience that these guys have. Jalen Milroe just played in 1 game. Now, they did beat Texas A&M. We've talked about that. Ty Simpson got his feet wet a couple of times, but just the times that we've seen him have just been 2 A-days. In the first A-day, he did look good his freshman season, and this past year, he looked okay. He certainly is progressing, and I do have faith in Ty Simpson because of one particular reason is I love his escapability. I also think he's fast north and south. He ripped off a 45-yard run, and I do think he is a good quarterback in terms of just passing the football in the short stints. Now, I didn't see too much of the long ball from Jalen Milroe or from Ty Simpson, right? It seemed like neither one of them had touch over, what was it, like 25 yards? I mean, it took Bryce a while, too, even last year. Remember? There was like a time where Bryce was like 0 for 12, and people were like freaking out, and now tonight he's the number 1 draft pick. Look, I think again, hold on. I knew that they were going to take a quarterback. I didn't think it was going to be Tyler Buchner. Here it is. Trust in Saban, I guess. Tommy Reese, this is his guy. This is his room. Clearly, he got the green light to bring Buchner in. So here we stand. Go ahead, JB.
I get what you're saying, but also with the spring games, you got to keep in mind you got two things going against you. One, the coaches ain't trying to show the world everything.
Yes.
We're keeping it pretty vanilla.
Yeah.
And two, our defense this year looks very promising.
Yes.
That secondary is pretty nasty. And you got to keep in mind that, they probably wasn't trying to stretch the ball out, and it's a completely new offense. Granted, coordinator from last year, Bill O'Brien, I mean, we didn't really stretch the field how we needed last year, but I think that was due to Bryce's injuries. That kind of hurt us a bit. But I do think that they were holding back in the spring game, keeping it pretty vanilla, and everybody is freaking out just because they didn't see the oohs and ahs. What concerns me a little bit more is the drops. But I think going against the competition, I think we're going to do fine with Milroe and let the other guys ease into the games as well. Quit tripping. We'll be all right.
JB, we appreciate you, man. Please don't tell us what happens tomorrow on April 28th, man. Let us get through the 27th. We appreciate you calling in, man. Stay safe out there, man, and have some bomb sushi for me.
No doubt. Thanks for your time.
All right. See you, JB. We got people calling in from different continents. JB out there in Japan. I appreciate it. We got callers in the queue lined up. We got a 256, a 813, and a 936. We got callers in different area codes. We appreciate you guys calling in. Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. I appreciate you guys joining me today on this beautiful Thursday, April 27th. Today is actually the anniversary of the big tornado, right? I think I saw some, I think that was like, how many years ago was that? That was crazy. To think that we've this many years since that horrific event. It was like a small tornado. So I've lived here for 6 years now in Tuscaloosa, and there was like a F1, and it was unbelievable the damage that it did way out by North River. I mean, there's still damage today. Like, you can just go and see how it affected the golf course and all that. And I don't even think it was like a real tornado, but it freaked me out. People are saying that Milroe transfers. Do you guys think that Jalen Milroe is going to transfer out, or any of the quarterbacks are going to transfer? Let me know inside the comment box right now. This is what I'm asking. It's not Milroe. It's not any quarterback. Do you think a quarterback will transfer out by April 30th? Let me know inside the comment box. Yes or no. I appreciate you guys. All right, let's get to our next caller, and it is a 256, and we'll take it right now. Yeah, I appreciate you being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Cal, this is Curtis Lewis. I'm calling you from Anderson, Alabama.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, Curtis.
I always enjoy your show.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback.
Now, I've been listening. Yes, sir. I've been listening to your callers, and I get a kick out of a lot of stuff that I hear, and the reason being, like, they refer to 8A game that is being watered down and all this other stuff. Well, if you know how to watch a scrimmage, a practice game, that's all that is. You have to know what you're looking for and what you're going to get from it. From a quarterback standpoint, I'm looking at how well is he going through his progression. Is he going to the right read first? Is he going to the most likely second read at that point? And also, if he's coming to the line, is he switching that run play out to a better run play because of the way the defense is set up? Now, a lot of fans don't see that. And no matter what watered down you have, you are still setting the defense to give the quarterback looks in a practice game to see if he recognizes it. And you're not going to get that many of them because, again, you're not going to run a whole lot of exotic stuff. So how well your quarterbacks perform is easier to monitor in those situations. And for what I saw coming out of 8A game now, we did not have a quarterback on that field from 1 through 4 who is going to be ready to play championship football in the fall, which means to me, you need to be at a certain level now so that you can progress by the time the season gets to that third, fourth, fifth game. And none of our quarterbacks are at that point yet. You're not going to get there over the summer just throwing to your receivers. Yeah, you're going to learn their tendencies, but you're not going to learn anything about when that ball needs to come out or where that ball needs to come out to without somebody in your face. You're not going to get that in the summertime.
Yep.
So I think what Saban sees – oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing. Go ahead.
Okay. And I think what Saban sees is, yeah, you've got 4 quarterbacks on your roster, and all 4 are championship-capable quarterbacks, but they are not at the point where they're going to be championship-ready by the time the season starts. So you bring in somebody like Tyler Buchner, who's already at that point where he's trying to get his quarterback up to, so by the time the fall comes along, now you're able to show him the exotic stuff. He could pick up on the things that you try to add as nuances to your offense instead of just trying to teach them the basics as what we're going through now. So he's ahead of where our quarterbacks are. Now, is there a little bit of that on our coaches from last year? Yes, it is. Because at some point, we could have played Mirror Rose more to get him more reps. And that's true. And he would be further along than he is now. But unfortunately, that was not the case, and this is where we are. We are not going to contend for anything with the 4 quarterbacks that we had this year. But we will contend now for the playoffs with Tyler Buchner and him staying healthy and the guys learning behind him to see where the Reeds go and what Tommy Rees wants from his quarterback. Right now, all they got is what they think they know. But Buchner actually knows. This guy has the experience. He's been to the playoffs. He knows what Tommy Rees wants. He knows how to perform it. And now he's got a complement of players around him who are better than what he had at Notre Dame. We can contend with this team. As far as the defense goes, yes, I think the defense would be better, but I didn't get that from the 8A game. You can't get that from the 8A game. You get that from the fact that Pete Golden is gone. That's one. And number 2 is that Kevin Steele is in there. And that's the second thing to why I think we're going to be better on defense. Now, is that to be seen? Yes, that's to be seen. Just like it's going to always be to be seen until you play real competition. But I do think we are better off with Buchner than we were without Buchner. And we can contend with him, whereas we could not have contended with the 4 that we have. And I do think somebody's going to transfer out. It's going to be 1 or 2 quarterbacks. I wouldn't be surprised if Miros or Simpson or both leave. And it's not going to hurt us. Because in the first half of that 8A game, where these guys were trying to go through the progressions, the 3rd and 4th string guys were going through it the exact same rate, if not better, than our 1 and 2 guys were going through it. But again, they got to learn. And they're all learning at the same rate. Because they're all new to this, as far as Reese's way of doing things. And I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be just fine. We'll be better than what we were without Buchner. A lot better than what we were. And that's where people are going to have to be patient, because now Buchner gets to learn his receivers over the summertime. Buchner gets to learn how everybody deals with different problems in the locker room. He gets to build that camaraderie with these guys. He gets to go to lunch with these guys. He gets to go and chew the fat with these guys, which is very vital when he gets on that football field in the fall. You can't trust somebody that you don't hang out with. And that's something that we were lacking in the last 2 years with our players. They don't hang out with each other. But now, this guy has a chance to do all those things and build that camaraderie. So when he gets on the field, he can react and not learn. And that's where you win. All right. That's all I want to say on it, Kyle.
Hey, Curtis, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to answer you on the show. So I'm going to open up another line. So thank you very much for calling in. I thought you bring up some great points. Listen to what I got to say on the other side, because I think I'm going to reiterate some of the things that you said, but I really appreciate it, Curtis. I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you very much for the support of the channel, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you, Kyle. You have a good one. Bye-bye.
thought Curtis brought up some good points. I mean, he was one of the few callers that we've had in that has been, a fan of Tyler Buchner and really excited about Tyler Buchner coming to Alabama and saying that Alabama is going to be in a better position for him. On the right of your screen, those are the stats from A-Day. There you can see Jalen Milroe is 19 to 37. So clearly he had opportunities to throw the football against Alabama's number one. And as we've talked about, that Alabama secondary are going to be very ferocious. In my opinion, I think they're going to be the top secondary in the entire country this coming year. I think Kool-Aid is certainly a first-round type guy in the NFL draft, which will be in 2024. This is very important. I was thinking about this when Curtis was talking. Okay, call in line. We have line open. Is that okay? And I think Chris, you could probably help me on the back end with this. So stay ready here. Okay, let's just go over the past 3 seasons. Past 3 seasons since we've started to enter the transfer portal era. The players that have come in to Alabama, they have pretty much all started, right? Let's think about it. They've all been starters. And Chris, you can help me with this back end. Maybe there's been a couple guys that have come in that haven't been starters or haven't lived up to the hype. Tyler Harrell is one of the guys who's certainly, I think he played twice. But think about the guys that came in last year, right? Jahmyr Gibbs came in. We didn't even know about him. He came in. He was a starter. Jermaine Burton came in. He led Alabama last year in, I think, yards or receptions. Henry Toto, he came in as a transfer. He was a starter. So my point is the guys that are coming in aren't necessarily just from the past, haven't been brought in to be backups. They've come in and competed for that starting spot, or they've been the starter. Am I saying that Tyler Buchner is going to be the starter? No. Oh, there you go. Tyler Steen. That's another one. Came in. Help me out in the comment box because I'm going through this with the show. Think about other transfers that have come in. Most of those guys have been starters. So I don't know if Tyler Buchner is going to be the starter. I'm just saying that he's coming in and he's going to fight for that starting spot, considering that the starting spot is open for the taking. We'll take our next caller. It's 813, and we'll start right now. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
My name is CJ from Gulfport, Mississippi.
CJ, thank you very much. I appreciate you calling in from Gulfport. What's on your mind today? Go ahead.
Well, my area code's 813 because I lived in Tampa and I kept my phone. But anyway, I heard the guy talking about Georgia's schedule. And one of the things I think that people forget, it makes it difficult for Alabama because look at what happened. LSU played Florida State. They have a rematch in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M played Miami in Texas. They have a rematch in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama plays Texas at Texas. They have a rematch at Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia played Oregon when Oregon was supposed to be good, and Oregon's still supposed to be good. Where's their rematch? Georgia don't have rematches and gives the other team a chance, in their home field or in their state. But another thing I think, Kyle, that makes it bad for Alabama, if you remember back when Alabama would beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, Georgia wasn't good enough to make the playoffs. Boom, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only way Alabama, would beat Georgia again is if they both go undefeated. Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship game. Alabama makes the playoffs. Because I don't think either one of these teams can beat the other twice in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened 2 years ago when Georgia won it. I knew that when they had a rematch against Georgia, they were not going to beat Georgia twice in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
And then look, Georgia plays Tennessee. Tennessee's loaded. Guess where they play them? I mean, it happens that way. They home and home. Now I think Tennessee has 18 seniors, and most of them were starters, 18 or 19 seniors, and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They'll play Tennessee this year at Knoxville, but Tennessee's not loaded. Tennessee's got a lot of holes to fill. And I don't understand why this home and home thing don't happen like it does with Alabama and all the other schools. Like I said, LSU, Texas A&M, and Alabama has rematches with non-SEC opponents that they had last year, but Georgia never gets them. Even if you remember, even when they played Clemson, even if they played Clemson in South Carolina, they didn't have a rematch. They played 1 year and that was it. But Georgia has an easy schedule. I don't know how on earth they couldn't go undefeated.
Let
But
me
my only hope is
let me
is
ask
that-
you this, and we're on the line with CJ Collin from Gulfport, Mississippi, with the area code of Tampa. I wish I lived in Tampa. Let me ask you this, CJ. When you look to Georgia, I think we're segueing right here to talking about Georgia real fast. We are the main subject is Tyler Buchner, and I want to get your take on that too, CJ. We'll talk about that next.
Right.
But when we looked at Georgia, did you feel the same way, CJ? When you looked at Georgia, let's compare the 2021 team and the 2022. The 2021 team, I think, was built off kind of that old school Kirby mentality of just running the football. And then I think last year when we saw Georgia play against Oregon, that was the real time that I said, oh, okay, he finally changed his offense. Scroll up to that top game, Chris, so I can see the score of that game. And I think the quarterback play and it was the next year, 2022. The fact that Georgia, do you feel that they've changed their offense, kind of modeling again after Alabama, right? We're always saying that they're modeling after Alabama. Do you think Kirby Smart finally has modeled his offense to be more up-tempo and more balanced, getting those productive wide receivers on the outside while maintaining big-time running backs, transitioning his offense? And I think I saw that last year. See what I'm saying? 49-3, 33-0, 48-7, 39. They're putting up a lot more points than they have in the past. Would you agree with that assessment that they've changed their offensive approach?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. I believe that to be. And now, as far as the Buchner situation, I have a different take on things. I think Alabama's in trouble this year on quarterbacks, and Jalen Milroe, he actually should have lost that game against Texas A&M. He almost cost them that game. And I'm an Alabama fan. I was born and raised here in Mississippi. I lived in Tampa for 14 years, and I'm back in Mississippi. I'm an Alabama fan. I can name you all of Alabama's offensive and defensive lines in 78, 1979. I can name all their offensive line, all of their defensive line. When they play all their starters, I can name every one of them to you. Try to find a caller that can do that. And I say that for this reason. When I put my opinion on some of these social media things, the Alabama fans start trashing you, telling you you're not a fan. My brother-in-law's a Mississippi State fan. All my family's Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And the one thing they say they have against Alabama fans, when you put your opinion on something, they start trashing you and telling you you're not an Alabama fan. So I've kept up with Alabama since 1969, and I'm telling you they're in trouble this year. They are in trouble. Their defense didn't look that impressive to me either. People keep saying their defense is going to be great. Their defense didn't look that impressive in that spring game. And I think I don't think Alabama's going to be a top 10 team this year. Now, you may think I'm losing my mind or I'm on something. I'm not on. I promise you I'm not. But I don't think Alabama's a top 10 team. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas wouldn't beat them. The second game of the year. Now, I'm like you and everybody else. I trust Nick Saban. If I could do better, I'd be the Alabama coach. But I do believe that I think it's going to change for the better whenever this playoff format changes, because if Alabama and Georgia plays each other each year in the SEC championship game and both of them make it to the playoffs, the loser of that SEC championship game is going to win it all. I do believe that. Now, but I also want to say about Kirby Smart, I believe that Alabama's defenses have never been the same. Even though they won national championships with Kirby Smart not there, their defenses have not been the same since he left. I believe he's the best defensive guy in football in college. I don't think you'll find any better. I kind of wish Nick Saban would have gotten Jeremy Pruitt. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Steele. I think his better days are gone. And he just gonna have to have great talent to make himself look good. And I'm an Alabama fan all the way, guys. When you cut me, I bleed crimson. But I think they're in trouble this year.
Hey, well, CJ, I appreciate the takes. They were good. They were hot. I think there's a lot to kind of debate with you in terms of about the defense and stuff like that. We're going to move to our next caller. We appreciate you calling in. Call again next time from Gulfport. I'm going to write your number down so I know that you're from Gulfport, not from Tampa. You have a good rest of your day, and we'll catch up with you next time, okay? Thanks for calling in, CJ.
Thank you.
CJ, see where he was going, man. I appreciate it. It was CJ had his mind. Hey, Chris, zoom out that the Alabama full schedule. I want to see what CJ is talking about in terms of Alabama winning. What do you say? 7 games or something like that? I love it. Okay, so Alabama. Okay, they tied the A-Day game. You got Middle Tennessee, then you got Texas at South Florida. Hey, Tampa. That's where I'm going. Right, I'm gonna go to Tampa for sure, 100%. Ole Miss. Okay, Lane Kiffin. You got Mississippi State at Texas A&M, Arkansas. Look, if you guys watch this show, I've been a big fan of Arkansas. I'm telling you, Sam Pittman. I mean, that Arkansas team continues to climb every single year. Tennessee, man, this is a tough schedule. At Kentucky, Lexington, that could be cool. Never been to Lexington. Chattanooga, okay, Chattanooga comes here. That's that game before Auburn, and then at Auburn. Yo, that's a tough schedule, right? I think that's a tough schedule. Chris, do you agree? Is that a tough schedule, right? That's a tough schedule. Okay, so I just wanted to see the schedule kind of like to refresh. So, all right, we're going to take our next caller, and been on the line for a minute, so I got to get to him. It's a 256. We'll start now. Yeah, I appreciate you calling in. I guess it's past the morning point, so good day. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What up with you, man? This is Jay from Florence.
Hey, what's up, Jay? I appreciate you, man. I know you were trying to get in, man, so thanks for being patient. What's on your mind, man? How you freaking out about Tyler Buchner coming to Bama?
Man, I ain't freaking out. I just kind of want to know why. Like, what was the point in going to get him? Because he ain't better than Miro or Ty. He ain't light years ahead of them. Now, if he was Sam Hartman, I would say, yeah, we need Sam Hartman because he's a way better thrower, he can control the team better, all that. But this Buchner kid, for one, you can't stay healthy. Availability is the best ability in any sport. You can't stay healthy, dog. So I don't, unless you come in here to be like a grad assistant or something, that's all I really wanted. But whoever gonna win that job, gonna win that job. But my man's from Tampa. He got to talking crazy, didn't he, Kyle?
Yo, the one thing that I love all our callers. CJ, you're watching. I love you. Got love for you, man. But the defense is going to be dangerous this year, like 100%. And I thought the defense looked good. They had 9 sacks. You had Caleb Downs who had an interception. You had Earl Little who had an interception. You had Christian Story who had an interception. I mean, and the crazy thing is that, and I said this before, is Dallas Turner, Deontay Lawson, and Chris Broswell, those guys didn't even play. And Pritchard, yeah, he did get eaten up, but I think that the defense is going to be really, really good. And I like what the defense, I have no problem with the defense. My only question on the defense is who's going to be the interior linebackers. But other than that, I'm not worried about the defense at all.
My whole issue with the team is Nick needs to go ahead and get out of this the first 40 play or whatever it is. We got to go way deeper on our team now. Because the A-Day game didn't show me nothing. It didn't show me nothing, but we brought physical and nasty back, and that our team is 3-4 deep at every position, probably except linemen. Except offensive linemen. But everywhere else, everywhere on the defense, we deep, man. We've got to rotate these people in because now it take 175 games to win a championship. So you got to have all your people at least playing a high level of football. And you can't tell me that if I go to my second string backup linebackers and Transman Marshall and Kendrick Blacksire that, you know what I'm saying? Like people gonna keep wanting to run that ball. No, they not, because Justin Jefferson and Deontay Lawson, they put it on your first quarter. Okay, second quarter, now I got a whole new batch of linebackers that's fresh, ready to go. You see what I'm saying, Kyle? Like, we should never nagging injuries and all that stuff. I hate to say it this year, but hey, dog, you hurt, ankle sprain, all right, you're gonna sit out this game because we got somebody that's playing just as good as you on the bench and somebody that's playing just as good as him behind him. So the depth should be king this year, my point. And everybody keep picking on Pritchard. Man, come on, man. That's what you call baptism by fire. Nick knew what he was doing, putting that man up against Q. Come on, man. Ain't nobody in the nation gonna be able to stop Q or any Alexander coming off of the edge. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop these folks, and you ain't gonna see nobody like them, like those players, until you play Georgia. Like that's really what Nick was getting him ready for. I'm gonna go and put you out here. They gonna go and baptize you, and you gonna be ready. Caden Proctor, same thing.
Yep.
Ain't no more you repping against the tools no more. Ain't no more of that, dog. You going up against straight animals. And I need to see if you a beast yourself. Do that make sense?
I think I mean, absolutely. I mean, and Chris has the defensive statistics now in the back of the screen. And as you can see up at the top, Malachi Moore had 9 tackles. He was actually the A-Day MVP. I voted for him. He had 9 tackles, 5 of those solos, 3 sacks, and he was coming off the edge. And I think it was important that Coach Saban said that Malachi Moore was actually used at the star position and didn't rep at the star position the entire spring, but because you had guys transfer out that were star position players, that Malachi Moore now repping with that star position. And then you have Caleb Downs, and then you have it's an incredible secondary when you look at that group overall, right? Even if you go to the other side too, Chris, Jake Pope. We talked about Jake Pope and how he put the lumber to Jermaine Burton, and those are like the twos, right? So you look at Jake Pope, you look at Earl Little, Christian Story, those guys mentioned. Then we're talking about the interior linebacker play, Kendrick Blackshire, Jeremiah Alexander. I mean, those guys are in the twos or the threes, and those guys are good. So no problem with the defense on that side. And I think you're right. There was some baptism by fire on that. What else you got, Jay, as we talk about Tyler Buchner committing to Alabama, and then I'm going to let you go.
Man, Depp is king. Run the dang ball. The man wearing the hat. The leader of the offensive line wearing the hat.
Yes.
Run the dang ball. That's what we need to do. We don't. And this Tyler Buchner kid, man, we just need him to coach up Miro and Ty Simpson and Dylan Lonergan. I love y'all. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jay. Jay from Florence calling in. I appreciate it. Calling line is somewhere up at the top. 205-850-1994 is the calling line number. We got 2 callers in. We got a 334-773 and 936. We'll take those callers in just a minute. One of the things that Jay was hitting on, who just called from Florence, and Chris still has the defensive statistics. Oh, no, now he has the overall statistics up. Thanks, Chris. This is very important when we talk about depth, okay? We were just talking about depth on the defensive side, but depth on the offensive side, particularly at the running back position. I think since, the last several seasons since I've covered Alabama, one thing that I've known is that you have to have a barrage of running backs that can tote the rock, because it's a grind. And as we just looked at Alabama's schedule, you're going to need all you need out of Jace. Same thing with Roydell, Justice Haynes, Jamarion Miller, who I think is probably underrated. And then you have Richard Young coming in. So, look, it's a gauntlet of a season. Things happen. Hopefully none of these guys get injured. I'm just saying you got to keep these guys fresh. Is it going to be a running back by committee this year? I have no idea. All I know is Justin Haynes certainly ready to contribute. Nick Saban feels the same way, so feel real good about that running back room. But Jay hit it on the head in terms of you have to have depth, not only on the defensive side, but clearly at the running back position specifically. On every single roster, you're going to have 25 wide receivers. Not worried about that. But I'm talking about the depth and the quality depth of inside linebacker and running back. How many years have we watched Alabama, and it always seems that we're running out of quality depth at the inside linebacker position? Seems like all the time, right? Every single season. So the more quality linebackers in the interior, the better. We'll take our next caller, and we'll start right now with the 334. Hey, good day.
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
Yeah, what's up, man? Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Jeff from Selma.
Jeff, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. Happy Thursday, man. Give me your take on Tyler.
My take on Tyler is that he didn't have the supporting cast that he needed around him at Notre Dame. I think he has it at this one, because I think offensive line is much better than what it was last year. And that guy that said that we're going to lose, what do you say?
I think he said 4 or
7
5
games or something like that.
Yeah.
4. But
yeah.
He's been out in the sun too much.
Down in Gulfport, huh?
Yeah, he's been out in the sun way too much. It's been steaming on his head, and his brain is fried. That's something wrong with the man, because Alabama hasn't had a losing season since 07-06, and that's facts.
I think when you listen to David, I think that one of the things that was standing out was the fact that he wasn't confident in the defense. It's where I had a big disagreement with that, because I feel that the defense is going to be really, really solid this year. In the back of the screen is Tyler Buchner's statistics from 2022 against Ohio State. In a 21-10 loss to the Buckeyes, he was 10 of 18. And I think that is a big game, right? Because you're playing against Ohio State. That's the type of competition that you have to be accustomed to. But against Marshall, remember, I mean, it was like they weren't going to win a game. Right? I mean, he was 21 to 26, 18 to 32, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's scary. Rushing wise, 13 to 44. I don't know. I mean, he comes in. What's your take? I mean, where does he fall in this depth chart? Where is he? 1, 2, 3? Because like I
would
said,
say if Ty hadn't got hurt with his thumb, I would say he would be number 2. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna put him number 3. He's got to learn to the system that Alabama plays first off. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of hard. I mean, the reason we had the problems last year is because of Bill and Pete. Like I said before, the defense is doing a lot better than it did last year. It's not letting the offense get separation with them so much. It's giving them just enough. It's kind of like a cushion, and then they pounce on them. And they did that very well in the A-Day game. Another thing is, I believe that we maybe do need a cornerback, but I think Saban's got this covered. And we just need to trust in Saban and let him do what he's got to do. I mean, that's why he gets paid the big bucks, right? I mean, what? We're fans. That's all we are.
Yeah, right. I mean, it always comes back on Saban, and I mean, he's the guy who ultimately makes these choices. And look, I think he believes in Tommy Rees, who's about to be 31 years old. I think here coming up, and he's going to be the new offensive coordinator, taking over for Bill O'Brien and in charge of the quarterback development. And look, clearly he knows a lot about Buchner. Has seen him, worked with him. He was the offensive coordinator with Notre Dame, and I think when you look to Notre Dame's roster on the offensive side and continue looking at their weapons, and they had some weapons. Look, when I would watch Notre Dame, specifically at that tight end position, they use Michael Myers very well. I think Michael Myers will be a tight end that's taken off the board. I think he's a first-round type guy. How will they be able to use C.J. Dupree, Amari Nyblack, and some of these guys, I get, is yet to be seen. We didn't see too much of that during the spring game. Tyler Buchner comes in, and I think he's going to fight for this quarterback position that is, wide open. I wouldn't say that he's particularly has any better attributes than Ty Simpson or Jalen Milroe, but I guess we got a 3-horse race now entering the season. What else you got, Jeff? Give me one more before I move to my next caller, man.
I want to say something. I know these people have been talking about Milroe was the reason that we won the Texas A&M game last year. Mm-hmm. That's not true. Terron Arnold is the reason we won that game last year. He read Jimbo's lips. He knew exactly where that ball was going to, who that ball was going to, and that's the reason we won that game. Other than that, we'd have had 3 losses. Count that.
You know what? When I rewind to that Texas A&M game, that the play that they ran, the last play of the game, was a terrible decision. Like that was the play that you chose, right? Like I didn't like the play design setup, like where they even threw the football to. That was just, I didn't like that setup. Jeff, I appreciate you calling in from Selma, man. Call in anytime. Got love for you, man, and have a blessed rest of your day.
Thank you. You have a good one too. Roll Tide, brother.
Roll Tide, man. All right, buddy Jeff calling in. We got a 773 and a 936 inside the call-in line. Appreciate you guys calling in this morning. We've had a great show. 519 on. Let's get those thumbs up. Appreciate the super chats. Become a member of this channel by fan funding. Hit the join button at the bottom of this video. We appreciate you guys being a part of Bama Insider. Tyler Buchner has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Came in for his visit on Tuesday night. That's news that we dropped right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And a couple days later, he does commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide, now making it, I guess you'd call it a 5-horse race or whatever you want for the quarterback position. It's really a 3-horse race, right? I mean, Dylan Lonergan, it looked good, but I don't think he's going to be the quarterback come the first game of the season. We will take our next caller, 773, and we'll start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Calling in from Chicago. How's it going, Kyle?
Good, man. What was your name?
Oh, Mike from Chicago.
Mike from Chicago, man. Take it away.
Hey, there's nothing about this commitment that looks good. I mean, nothing. I mean, he's not the best of quarterbacks. Who comes to a program where you already have 4 and another 5 stars coming on the way? Everybody who Nick has brought in, they played and started. So I'm scared that if he starts, I mean, he didn't play very well at Notre Dame. I mean, there is no silver lining nowhere I can find anywhere. I do not understand this move. What happened? Why? I mean, it's not like he's coming to a system he already knows. This is the Alabama system. There's no coordinator that comes in and brings their own system. Alabama says, hey, you have to learn our terminology, our plays, everything. So he's almost like the freshman. I mean, so why is he here? Is Ty Simpson's injury worse than what it was, claimed to be? Has Jalen Milroe hurt himself? I mean, there's nothing. Every question I ask, I can't find a good one to answer.
You know what? I'm an optimist. I really am, honestly. I am. But you bring up a great point. I'm trying to find the silver lining as well. Right? And look, this is what I'm going to say now, okay? This is very, very important. Listen up, okay? I strongly feel now that these players can get paid, that we can be critical of them. At first, they were like college athletes, kind of had to like tiptoe around or whatever and like walk on eggshells. No. You're getting paid. You're a pro. If you can get money and you can sign deals, you can be talking about, you can take criticism. Take that criticism, take the rat poison, go work on your game, come prove us wrong. But if you're getting bags on the side, if you're a pro, you're going to be talking about, you're going to be taking the criticism. This young man, there's a big drop off at the quarterback position and everybody knows it. Everybody. Is there a big drop off with Alabama football? No. But at the quarterback position, isn't it ironic that the first quarterback tonight in the NFL draft to be taken is Bryce Young? Isn't it ironic that the highest paid player in the NFL is Jalen Hurts, who is also a quarterback from Alabama? Mac Jones is in the NFL. So is Tua. And now these are the quarterbacks that we're looking at. Look, these quarterbacks have a lot of work to do, but they are not ready to live up to that standard of perfection that we're used to at the quarterback position, period.
I totally agree with that. I mean, that's I totally agree. But the thing is, if you look at the schedule, it's brutal, right? You got Texas on it, it's brutal, and I'm pretty sure there's an incentive to try to win this year. But again, I'm just hoping that why he's here, maybe he's just here to be here. Or I'm not sure. I'm just hoping there's nothing behind the fact that he wanted to come and play for Alabama and compete. I'm hoping that's the best I can see. If he wanted to come to compete and they said, okay, hey, come here and give an opportunity, by all means, come and compete. But, I'm just hoping that something is nothing bad behind the wall there. So thanks for taking my call. I'm going to try to be an optimist like you and keep looking for the silver lining. But I've dug 10 feet deep now, and I'm still trying to find it. So, hey, have a great day.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for calling in. And by the way, inside the comment box, John is saying you can't claim Jalen Hurts. Yes, you can. Look, Alabama and Oklahoma. You can have 2 schools. I watched Jalen Hurts, and the best story of college football ever was when Jalen Hurts handled himself like an absolute man when he got benched in the national title game. Did Jalen Hurts go transfer to another school then? No. He came back. He handled his business. He didn't go to his media. He didn't go sound off and cry. He came back. He was a teammate. And when he was called on in the SEC championship game, when Tua went down with 2 ankle injuries, when he thought his ankle flew off, who was it that stood in and led Alabama to an SEC championship? It was Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is stoic AF. I'm telling you. I love that kid. Now he's paid. We will take our next caller. It is a 936, and we'll start right now. Hey, I appreciate you being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Anderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
This is Terrence from Texas.
Terrence from Texas. I appreciate you, man. Give us your take, man, on the quarterback situation.
Okay, for the guy that that come in can't claim Jalen Hurts craziness. He played 3 years at Alabama, once at Oklahoma.
Thank you.
How come we can't claim him?
Thank you.
So that's out of the question. The other guy that said that Alabama's defense is not going to be any good, craziness. We all seen from the simpleness of A-Day game. Hey, keep it simple. Go out there and hunt heads. Let's do our job. Hey, it's going to be way better. If you know defense and you play sports, play football, you know football, you can see Kevin Steele, everywhere he's been, that he's coached defense except for what was the last school?
Miami.
Hey, think about everybody in Miami, this NIL. The NIL has messed up college football. But hey, when he was at Auburn, they gave us hell all the time. Texas A&M gave us hell with the players, and they didn't have the caliber players that Alabama had. So that's enough said. He knows what to do. He knows Nick Saban. Secondly, on the new quarterback we got, I don't see the significance of him. Nothing against the guy. Everybody's saying he's playing championship caliber football. I don't call 600 yards for 3 or 4 touchdowns championship caliber football. Me personally, like I said, nothing against the guy, but it serves no purpose. I don't think he's better than any quarterback that we have. Literally, any quarterback that we have. We have two good dual threats that can make plays, will make plays, and that are still growing. Durability. Look at Milroe. He speaks for himself. He's a linebacker playing quarterback. Ty Simpson, you don't hear anything about him that's not being durable. He's a very durable type guy. As far as the defense, man, I really think we need Bo Davis back. Nothing against Freddie Roach, but we got to get the rotation a little bit better as far as those D linemen. But we have the talent. We have the talent, clearly. As far as, we got Trasman from Georgia. We get Trasman and Lawson in. Why can't we put Justin Jefferson as that nickel, because it shows he got the speed and he can thump. I know he can read plays. He's a sideline-to-sideline type player. If we could put him back there and utilize that speed with his size, we talking about defense being clutch. Nobody has said anything about that. I don't see how he can't play that nickel. We got, he's what about 225-ish? I mean, and can thump, and he got the speed. So. But defense is going to come along good this year. Offense is going to be better. The running backs we have, enough said. The young players we got in, enough said. I mean, solid, valid, roll, tide, roll. Like I said, there's nothing against Ty, but hey, if we wanted Ty, we would have recruited him. Nothing against him, but a lot of people got to keep in mind, it's not Notre Dame system. It's Alabama system with a few wrinkles. So for the gentleman that said, hey, he knows Tommy Reese's system, it's not Tommy Reese's system. It's Alabama's with a few wrinkles. You can tell who knows sports and who doesn't, or who's played football and who hadn't. I'm just saying that I only went as far as junior college, but still I've played Mississippi Delta. So I mean. Forever roll, Tide roll. Man, I love the show. I'm glad to see you doing your thing. Glad to see you got the channel all to yourself. I'm always support you. But like I said, nothing against Tyler Buchner. Alabama's defense is going to be clutch and ready. I'm ready for those guys. Whatever happened to the guy that got in trouble, for, whatever. We hadn't heard anything.
Tony Mitchell? Tony Mitchell?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I think they're still trying to dig into that. They haven't said anything on that. I think that, when we'll hear something from Coach Saban, but they basically just said that he's suspended from the team and then kept it at that, which is probably the best thing to do. Hey, Terrence, I got to move to my next caller, man, but I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for calling in, for the support, man. We'll catch up with you next time. Terrence from Texas by way of Mississippi. Appreciate you, man. Roll Tide to you. All right. There was somebody inside the comment box that said, I'm trying to scroll up. They said that they're trying to call in, but their minutes weren't free up until 9. Do you remember when, like back in the day, Chris, you're too young, our producer. So yeah. So back in the day, when you would get your cell phone, you only had like certain minutes and they were free after 9. So like if somebody called you, you would be like, yo, I can't talk until after 9. And then after 9, that's when you would make all your calls and stuff like that. But basically, like, you had to be real stingy with those minutes until they were free. So that's hilarious. Derek, you remember that, right? That was so funny, man, when you'd be like, yo, I can't talk, man. Call me after 9, and you hang up. We'll take a couple more calls, and then I'll be honest with you. I got to get something to eat. This has almost been a 2-hour show, which has been cool. And I take the calls and I appreciate it. I mean, it is big news. I mean, this is the quarterback coming back to Alabama, jumping in the depth chart battle with Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe. So we will take our 3-3-4 and we'll start right now. Hey, I appreciate you being patient on the line. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where you calling in from?
My name is Jay. I'm calling in from Montgomery, Alabama.
All right, man. Go ahead, man. I appreciate you calling in. Jay, did you say?
Jay. Wah.
All right, man. Go ahead, man. Give me your take, man.
Hey, so all the callers that call in made good points. The last guy, Terrence, big shout out to him because he knows what he's talking about. The whole thing about Tyler transferring to Alabama, it doesn't make sense for him because you're coming to a team that already has, I want to say, at least 5 quarterbacks on a roster. So, you leave a school that only had one who, Hartman, he could get hurt. Then it's your time to shine. So for him to, transfer to a school that already has quarterbacks, it doesn't make the logical sense. But at the same time, I mean, Alabama, if you look at the history of Alabama over the years, every time we had a new quarterback, everybody wanted to say, oh, Alabama is over for them. Oh, they can't do it. I mean, even if you look back to when Blake Sims was our quarterback that year, nobody gave us a chance. But, I mean, it wasn't the greatest season, but we still did good. Jalen Hurts' first year at Alabama, nobody expected us to go and beat LSU and LSU.
Yep.
Nobody gave us a chance to win no games. So for us to do it, it shows you that Nick Saban knows what he's doing. He doesn't have a statue outside of the stadium for no reason. He is the GOAT when it comes to coaching. But I mean, I feel like Jalen Milroe definitely will grow over the summer. I feel like Ty, depending on how the injury and everything goes, I feel like he'll grow too. So, it's a steep competition. And then even the freshman quarterback, I think Eli, that's his name.
Yeah, so you have
but even him, it's a bunch of guys. It's a bunch of guys, and it's not, it's real steep over there. Even on the defensive side, like somebody said, our defense isn't going to be good. But we have a lot of guys that are young, freshmen, sophomores, guys that haven't played the last 2 years or so that finally get a chance to touch the field. So they hungry. They've been wanting that. And it's back to being like Alabama, the standard of hard-nosed football, like hit you every day, hit you in the mouth every single day. Like Pope. Pope is going to be a great safety, like hard-hitting safety. And Downs, Kool-Aid, the whole defense is going to be back to being Alabama. Offensive line got to develop, but other than that, I feel like it's still going to be back to being Alabama. Same thing every year, in and out. So that's just all I had to say on that matter. But I appreciate it, big fan, and of course, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide team, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, man. That was we had another Jay coming in. I appreciate you guys calling in. We got a 630 and a 317. We'll get to those calls, and then I think we'll break out from there. But yeah, Tyler Buchner in. Sound off in the comment box. Do you think that? Let me ask you this now, inside the comment box. Okay, this is our question that I want you guys. What's up, Jackie Bottoms? Appreciate you. Let's get that up on the screen, Chris. It looks like she put a lot of thought into that post right there. All right, Tyler Buchner will do great at Alabama and will thrive, and I really think that he will surprise all the naysayers that's spewing out all the negativity. Let's give the guy a chance and support him instead of trying to throw him under the bus. Emoji. Before he even takes a snap in the Crimson Tide uniform. Come on, Tide fans. Has Nick Saban ever made a decision that ultimately led us astray? Trust in the GOAT, Roll Tide, roll. Thank you, Jackie Bottoms. We appreciate you. Nice avatar. With the little superwoman. Look, people are, this was the thing. So after A-Day, when I gave, oh, you're a he. Well, I appreciate you, Jackie. After A-Day, the thing was, when we said the quarterbacks had a C plus. You guys were like, the quarterbacks are fine. And now the quarterbacks coming in, you're like, the quarterbacks are still fine. We'd like the quarterbacks on the roster. I knew that they would take a transfer quarterback. I didn't think it'd be Tyler Buchner. Here we are. John is saying 19 to 37, which is true. Those are Jalen Milroe's numbers. And, this is the quarterback situation going into the 2023 season. We'll take our 6-3-0, and it starts right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle. This is Justin from Tuscaloosa.
Justin, what's up, man? Appreciate you. You know what's weird is we rarely get calls from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, well, this is my first time calling in, but I had to come in and give a take on Buchner because nobody seems to be defending him, and I really think we need to give him a shot.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I've got some numbers right here. It looks like through his 3 games, Buchner's TD to turnover ratio was 7-5 through 116 plays, and we can compare that to Milroe, whose ratio was 6-6 in 84 plays. So Milroe is turning the ball over more throughout less plays. And yes, Milroe is a better athlete. He can run faster, but Buchner is also really efficient at running the ball. He fights hard for yards. He's good at moving the chains, and they're both quick slant passes between the numbers, over the middle guys. So I think they're really comparable. And I think Buchner coming here says something about the potential for Milroe to enter the transfer portal. I think there's definitely some information that we as fans don't know. There's some things that are going on within the program that maybe Milroe wanted the starter to be named after A-Day so that he can know whether to transfer or not. And maybe the starter was named, maybe it wasn't named. But either way, I have to imagine that Milroe is going to be hitting the portal because I really don't see him staying to compete.
On the line with Justin from Tuscaloosa. I appreciate the statistics. Anytime you bring stats to the board, it's always good to talk about that. You know what? Sometimes, I'm really good at putting things together. That's kind of one of my things. And sometimes you can read the little subtleties of social media, right? When a player says something or does something, and you bring up something very interesting, Justin. What did Jalen Milroe say after that social media post from Alabama when Ja'Cory Brooks made that toe-tipping catch? Right? They didn't highlight Jalen, right? And what did Jalen do? Go ahead, Justin. What did he do?
Well, if I remember correctly, I think he was trying to take credit for being the one that delivered the ball.
Exactly. And so many times we get from Alabama, there's no quarterback competition. Don't talk. No, why not just say that it was Jalen Milroe who threw the football? Nice throw, because they credit every single player on Instagram. I promise you, right? They pretty much make a post about all these players and they give them credit, but why not that specific one? Maybe we're reading too much into it, but the fact was Jalen Milroe was like, give me mine. And clearly he is saying that he can put the ball, there you go. This was the actual play right here. Yeah. So he said no tag. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can read into that and it's just clearly he was like, why didn't I get it? Oh, look at the tag up top. Yo, they did tag Ja'Cory Brooks and Kool-Aid, but they didn't tag Milroe. That's weird that stuff like that happens. Anyways, Justin, what else you got, man? Go ahead.
Well, I'm excited for the season. I think the defense is going to be pretty lethal, just like everybody else that's called in, but we got to get this QB situation figured out. I'll be interested to see what kind of system Reese implements. We obviously didn't really see what the scheme is going to be at A-Day. He tries to keep things as vanilla as possible. But I'll be interested to see how they use RPOs because I feel like the offensive line, when RPOs are called, sometimes they just really don't get out and block as much because they're afraid of getting down and getting that player downfield penalty. So I'll be interested to see how Reese uses those. I'll be interested to see who wins the QB battle. And I don't know. I feel a little bit shaky about the QB, but all the other positions, except for wide receivers, seem to be pretty solid. So I think it's going to be another good year.
Hey, Justin, I appreciate it, man. Save the number, call in again. I really appreciate your feedback. Good stuff. I appreciate you highlighting with the stats on Tyler Buchner. You have a great day and appreciate you calling in from beautiful Tuscaloosa.
Thanks, Kyle. You too.
Take it easy. All right. We'll take 2 more callers and then we will go get some lunch. You know where I've found a sleepy spot for lunch here in Tuscaloosa. So I cook. Okay, I'm a low key chef. I like to cook, and I'm not afraid to dive into new recipes and all that stuff. But one of the spots that I've found, so the number one Mexican restaurant in Tuscaloosa, hands down, it's not even close, is Antojitos. It's if you go on McFarland, it's by Snow Hidden Park. There's like an African hair braiding, and then there's like Antojitos, which is right next door. Their Mexican food is unbelievable. The owners are actually from Mexico City, but what I found is there's another Mexican spot. Their food isn't necessarily like Mexican, but it's jalapenos, and they have this tortilla soup. And I've been going in there. It's like $5 for just like a nice bowl of like chicken tortilla soup. So that's I think that's where I'm going to dip out. So if you're in the area, that's where I'll be next. Today we're talking Tyler Buchner, just committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Appreciate you guys being with us today on this beautiful Thursday, April 27th. A little rainy outside. Can't get some golf in, maybe tomorrow. But we will take our next caller. It is a 317, and we will take that right now. See if I can take it on the back end. It looks like I'm having some sort of technical difficulties. Give me 1 second, fam. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe that's a sign that the show needs to dissolve. We've been going for a little bit anyways. Hey, well, I appreciate you guys joining us. Looks like I might be having some technical. Oh, let's see. Actually, let's see. Hey, it looks like we got you. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with? Yeah, where are you calling in from, and what's your name?
My name is Marcus. I'm calling in from St. Pete, Florida.
Marcus, what's up, man? I appreciate you. Man, St. Pete's. I wish I was in St. Pete's, man.
It's nice right now, but other parts of Florida was getting hail earlier in the week, so we're lucky. We're not getting any crazy weather right now as it stands.
I got you. Man, so what's on your mind, man? You got Tyler Buchner coming to Alabama. What's on your mind?
Absolutely. So first thing, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, but when I saw the article come through and I was at work, I was like, man, I got to step out and call. So thanks for taking the call because my mind is blown right now. First things first, I got to say this. For everybody who says Alabama can't claim, and I'm using air quotes, Jalen Hurts, I think that's the most asinine comment anybody's ever made. If that's the case, going off that logic, Pitt fans can't claim Jordan Addison because he went to USC. Oklahoma fans can't claim Caleb Williams because he transferred to USC. Patriots fans can't claim Tom Brady because he ended his career in Tampa Bay. Like, I think that's the most ridiculous mindset to have.
Thank you.
You can have played at multiple spots and still say all these places have, a say-so in saying that I played and played winning football for them. I think that's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Exactly.
So what I really wanted to say, so I'm like you. I'm trying to be optimistic about this. I don't hate the kid. I think Tyler Buchner is a very smart guy because in order to get into Notre Dame, you have to have very good academics. And if a lot of universities had to judge their athletes off of their academics, I think a lot of rosters will look very different. Having said that, the only way that I can logically spin this to myself is if Tommy Rees goes into Coach Saban's office and says, hey, Coach, I know this kid isn't wowing, even though Alabama did recruit him, by the way, or attempted to. If Tommy Rees says, hey, Coach, if you take this kid, plug him into your offense, and surround him with the talent, the 4- and 5-star talent that Alabama recruits with the defense that looks like it's going to be very aggressive and back to that traditional Alabama defense that punches you in the mouth, this kid will take you the distance. Okay, that's great. I'll listen to that conversation, but I'm not 100% buying it. When you look at their numbers, what the previous caller did when he pulled up their stats and said that Milroe turns the ball over more, that is true. But I will say this, Milroe has way less losses than Tyler Buchner. And I get that Tyler Buchner started, but Milroe could have lost the Texas A&M game. Milroe could have stepped in the Arkansas game when Bryce Young went down, and he could have blew that, and they could have lost then. Jalen Milroe and Tyler Buchner, to me, are almost identical, with the difference being Milroe's a way more electric athlete when he has the ball in his hands, and he can move and make the defenses scramble around. So I want to be optimistic and say, man, this Tyler Buchner kid can probably ball out. But at the same time, I have yet to see anything that really wowed me on film that made me say, yeah, this kid can come into the SEC, play SEC ball at the pinnacle of college football, which is Alabama, that's definitely almost dominated college football for almost 2 decades, and can go out and compete and win in the West, then compete in Atlanta and win the SEC, and then go and get past the first round of the playoffs and then win your national championship. I have a hard time seeing that happening when you look at how his career at Notre Dame played out. They were very one-dimensional in the sense that they couldn't really run the ball, and it was either Tyler Buchner was your leading rusher or he would throw to Mike Mayer. So I'm just very skeptical of how this kid's going to play out. Now, I hope, if this is the case, I hope and pray that the kid comes to Tuscaloosa and he balls out, resurrects his career, and silence all the haters, including myself. But I just find a hard time swallowing that pill because I don't see what factor he brings to the offense that's going to kick it up a notch. People keep talking about a quarterback competition. There's already a quarterback competition.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think these guys want to start in Alabama and be the starting quarterback and carry on the tradition? Like, I get that no guy wants to be the guy after the guy who won the Heisman. But at the same time, Bama recruited these players for a reason. So let's give these guys a shot. But if all your quarterbacks are graded out as a C and you bring in a quarterback that's also graded as a C, where's the competition at? So I'm just baffled by it. But once again, I'm not a college football coach. I'm not a multiple national championship winning coach. So I'm going to trust, quote unquote, the process, and I'm going to see how everything unfolds. I'm just very skeptical on what Buchner brings to the table with his skill set.
On the line with Marcus from St. Pete's. Hey, Marcus, I stayed at the Don Cesar one time, man, when I was down in St. Pete's. It was awesome.
So have I. It's a beautiful place, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. It's super nice, man. It's really nice. It's super swanky. It's like got that old school vibe, and it's got that beach that's just like super chill. You brought up you brought up a really good point against Arkansas. Can you highlight the Arkansas one in 2022, Chris? So in Arkansas, this is important, right? So let's read this. Can you zoom in just a little bit? This is Jalen Milroe. He came in, entered the second quarter following a Bryce Young injury, and led the Tide offense to 5 touchdowns, 35 points, finished 4 of 9 for 65 yards and a touchdown, also rushing for 91 yards and a score off 6 carries with a long rush of 77 yards. Let me ask you this question inside the comment box. Who would instill more fear at the quarterback position, and who do you have to game plan more from, Tyler Buchner, Jalen Milroe, or Ty Simpson, right? Because I think, we've seen, I forgot about that Arkansas game with Jalen Milroe, right? I mean, Arkansas's got a really good defense. I mean, it's tough to prepare for, against a quarterback that can bring so much speed and athleticism. Now, he wasn't sliding, and there was a couple times inside the red zone that he got hit, and he spun around. It was scary every single time he get hit, and his helmet, I think even his helmet flew off, right? But anyways, I appreciate it, Marcus. So get in one more thing, man, because I got to move to my next call as I'm trying to end here in a few minutes. What else? Anything else?
Absolutely. So in that Arkansas game, what people forget is if you take the points off the board that Bryce Young put up, I'm pretty sure Alabama still wins that game just off the scores from Jalen Milroe alone. So I get that people want a very dynamic and electric quarterback at Alabama because we have kind of had our pick of the litter in a sense. We've gotten very used to having these very dynamic quarterbacks. And people forget that Jalen Hurts' very first snap in a game against USC, he fumbled the ball. His very first play, he fumbled and turned it over. So give these kids some grace. Let's see what they can do. The team that you see in the spring won't necessarily be the team that you see in the fall. So everybody have a great pre-Friday. Stay safe. God bless, and roll Tide. Thanks for taking the call.
Hey, I appreciate it, Marcus. Thank you so much, man. Have a nice day. That was Marcus. We're going to take our 225, and then that'll be our last caller. So our 334 that just chimed in, man, go ahead and hang up. I don't want to make you wait on the line. But our 225 has been on the line for 10 minutes, man. So if you just called in, we'll get you next time. But we'll take our 225, and this will be the last call that we take. So 678, we'll catch you next time. Hey, thanks for calling. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle. This is Booker calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm a long-time caller. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. And I have to say this. I'm hearing a lot of Alabama fans who I feel like this about a lot of Alabama fans. Well, I'm an Alabama fan as well. And I have to say that I feel that a lot of Alabama fans don't watch enough football outside of Alabama football because they seem to believe that everybody else sucks, that these guys aren't being coached well. And I say that to say I watched the first half of the Gator Bowl. Notre Dame against South Carolina, and Buchner, at this point in time, he has shown more as a capable college quarterback than Milroe and Simpson at this point. We would all love for Milroe to be this dynamic college quarterback because he has all this athleticism. But he has been in Alabama going into his third year. He's a redshirt junior. And he has not a redshirt sophomore. I can't remember, but it's his third year, and he has not developed into a quarterback yet. As far as I'm concerned, he's an athlete playing quarterback. He's not a quarterback, and so at a school like Alabama, that is the highest of the high profile in college football. And, people bring up, Jalen Hurts, but at this time, we have that one-time immediate transfer, rule. Coach Saban cannot sit back and wait for a guy who's going into his third year at Alabama to get it and develop especially with the way that he recruits and everyone else is ready to go on the offense. I mean, they've retooled the running back room, tight ends. Watch out for Danny Lewis from Opelousas, Louisiana, tight end, stud. You have game breakers at tight end. You have game breakers at receiver. Offensive line is super talented and big and young. So, I mean, what's the holdup? He cannot sit and wait for Milroe I'm saying Milroe because the speculation is that he's going to transfer. He can't sit back and retard the trajectory, the progress of everyone on the offense waiting for Milroe. That's my point. And I think that Buchner runs a 4-5. Buchner can move. Buchner can throw. Yeah, he needs some seasoning, but he's shown more at this point than Milroe has and Simpson. So I think it's a great move.
You said your name was Booker, right? Is that right, Booker?
Right.
Does it concern you that Tyler Buchner lost the game to Marshall?
No, because first of all, Notre Dame had a lot of injuries on their offensive line. Nick Saban, when I was in college, Nick Saban lost the game to UAB. That didn't turn him into a scrub coach. Sometimes if you listen to what Giannis Antetokounmpo said to the reporter that asked him, if this season was a failure, that's how I think you should look at, not you, but I'm saying
I got you.
To people in general. That's how people should look at sports. It's a process,
mm-hmm.
And no, it doesn't bother me that he lost the game to Marshall.
Hey Booker, well I gotta end the show, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Save my call in line number. Call in again next time, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your Thursday.
Okay, thank you for taking my call, man. God bless you too, man.
God bless you. See you, Booker. Oh God, I love you guys, man. I love all the callers. Thank you so much for calling in. We had such a great show today. That was great. We're going to end the call-in show right now. As you could tell, I need to get something to eat. I need to process this. I need to digest all this information. You guys had some great calls. Hit me up next time on my call-in show. We appreciate you guys' support. Hit the join button at the bottom of the screen to become a member of the call-in line number of the show. You can also be a fan funder. We really appreciate all you guys. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. We appreciate you guys, and we will catch up with you guys next time. Make sure you jump in the comment section and support the content. And then on the tonight, we got Bryce Young going #1 to the Panthers. So the news don't stop when you cover the Alabama Crimson Tide. One more time from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football.